Hey guys, Robert Gertis with CrossFit South Metro and South Metro Barbell. Here to take a look today at Vladimir Sedov's gold medal snatch at the 2014 World Championships. Sedov was actually a 2009 World Champ, and he's won a bunch of snatch gold medals in the Worlds, but he's never repeated as a World Champ quite yet. He took silver overall, losing to his own countryman, Kirdabayev, in the clean and jerk by quite a bit, but he is a phenomenal snatcher. So we'll take a look at the whole thing real quick, and then we'll have to rewind it and then kind of start from the word go, and then do that. So here we go. 188 kilos. I think Jim has a little bit of slow-mo on that catch, but so there you go. That earned him the gold medal in the snatch portion of the competition. Sedov does a lot of things that we talk about a lot, and specifically one thing that I want to look at that I've seen a lot of lately that he does really well is still hit full extension while still getting down really, really quickly. But so you'll note that when he starts, he does a lot of movement. There's a lot of pieces going up and down. He's pulling his back into position. But you'll note when he does that, he's really trying to get his upper back into position. And you'll see it like 2 or 3 times before he starts pulling. But the whole time his hips are, I think he starts just a little bit below parallel with his hip. And his shins are like really far forward of the bar. He's really well in balance, or the bar is really far forward of where most, specifically American lifters, start. Most people would actually say it's like almost a non-advantageous position to start in, but it is. And off the ground it probably is, but it gives them a lot of leverage at the top. So if we just play it at full speed and kind of get it right to that point, just check it out. He kind of like pulls himself into position, and then pulls himself into position, and then he comes back up, and then he pulls himself into position, and then he kind of gets that one big hitch, and then he starts to go. So not something that's really something we would teach anybody out of the get-go, but the point of it is you can just see how hard he's like pulling his upper back into position. Shoulder blades come together, and then he gets that big one, and he comes into position. Hips are way below parallel, pulls his shoulder blades together, and then he starts to get the bar off the ground. So as he reaches that parallel point, the bar actually cracks from the ground. So from there, you can see he's got his head up a lot. He's got that big open mouth pull, but that's, indifferent. But his head is up, back is perfectly flat, hips nice and parallel, shins are still crazy far forward of the bar. From there, as he comes off the ground, you'll actually see, like we always say, chest up, but what we really mean is keeping your back flat and some tension through your upper back as the bar comes back off the ground. So as he comes off the ground, I think we always say chest up, but in this position, he's actually like letting his hips almost lead him through the lift because he needs to let that bar come back. And with that forward shin position, he needs to kind of like let his hips need to rise faster than his shoulders do until about just below the knee, right about there. Now his back angle stays pretty much the same through that knee position. So, but even here, so he's just below the knee, and his knees keep coming back, his knees keep coming back, his knees keep coming back, and you can almost see it. There's just a ton of pressure right through the middle of his back at that top of the knee position, which is right there. Okay? So the pieces that he has here, you can actually see a little bit of daylight underneath his heels. Not a ton. His heels are pretty close to the ground, but you can see there's a lot of pressure on the ball of his foot. Nice vertical shin, or as close to a vertical shin as you can. Okay, and the bar has traveled back from its original starting position. From there, he's going to not bring his hips forward too much. Sedov does a little bit, but he does a really good job of staying behind the bar and bringing the bar back, and right there, he kind of brings his hips forward to meet the bar. Okay, but he's cleared his chest, so his chest is well behind the bar. He's got a good amount of pressure on the ball of his foot, and he is still going to take the bar up and back. So from here, once he makes contact with it, he travels up, and right there he's at the top. And he's got he's got one straight line from the top of his head through the ball of his foot. Okay. Phenomenal finish position. One of the more unique things about Sedov's lifts is how he receives the bar. So from this position, you'll see his elbows start to pull behind him. Okay, he comes back down, and once that bar kind of clears his head, he almost throws himself in front of it. So you see he kind of pulls the bar back, and then he ends up in a position where he is really far forward. You can see it better on his right arm, but he's got that elbow pit pointed almost completely forward, and not up. So many people talk about like having extreme external rotation when you receive. It's not quite, like he doesn't have that at all. He's almost internally rotated, but shoulders are pinched together. Hips and heels are in pretty much alignment. Shins are way forward. And he's basically wedged himself underneath that bad boy. And then, he's a beast, so he settles it. And like this type of a position where his head is really far forward of the bar and the bar is sitting like way back over his scapula and stuff like that, actually allows him to recover a lot of lifts that a lot of people don't recover. There's a bunch of videos of him from 2012, 2011, walking out lifts that most guys lose. But from there, he's a monster, so he stands it up, and he's awesome, and he just won himself a gold medal in the snatch portion. So I'll take one more look at it, full speed. You can see all those pieces working through the whole thing. We'll start all the way from the beginning, so you can see his whole little hitching routine before he starts. But so there's 1, 2, shoulder blades together, 3, shoulder blades together, up, boom. Slides himself in front of the bar, decelerates it, and he stands it up. So there you go. 188 kilo snatch from Vladimir Sedov, gold medal lift from the 2014 Worlds. Have a good day, guys.